Hey guys, this is sort of my first vlog within Australia. I'm just going to talk about my own experience with reverse culture shock. So I arrived in Australia on the 2nd of August, and for me, with reverse culture shock, it wasn't hard hitting as other people would might experience, but I still experienced a small part of it, which I've previously in the past I've never experienced when I came back overseas, and I think it's simply because I obviously went on exchange. It wasn't a sort of a touristy sort of experience. It was just living in a different country for 5 months, and it was a brand new experience for me having reverse culture. With my reverse culture shock, it was mainly me asking myself questions. Why is everyone speaking in English? Well, how come the signs are in English and not Japanese? Why are the menus in English? How come I'm the only white person, not the only white person in my train? So it was mainly me asking questions to myself, asking myself, am I really in Australia or is this just a dream? And it really hit me the next day where I woke up and it's a different scenery. Looking outside the window, there was heaps of trees and not skyscrapers, or instead of car noises, it's actually birds, which just threw me out because it just made me think, oh, I'm really back in my own country and not Japan. So for me, I was genuinely confused, and even though most of my friends have not been on exchange, they still helped me overcome my reverse culture shock. I just talked to them about my experiences, why I genuinely felt sad, or I just felt a particular emotion that I can't express, and they just understood. And especially for those who have been on exchange, you understand reverse culture shock, or just coming back to your own country after your exchange. You get all these different emotions and whatnot, and sometimes it's really hard to explain to family and friends, but for me especially, I really recommend you guys to have connections and talk to your family and friends about what you're feeling after your exchange. Also, I miss a lot of things. I mainly miss my friends back in Japan, but there was this really lovely quote, or like a saying, that I thought of on the last couple days while I was over there, and I said to my mentor, who was a second grader at my host university, and I said to her, "It is not a goodbye, it's just a see you later," and it applies on your exchange so much. And for me, I said to all my Japanese friends, look, although I might be coming back to my home country, it's not a farewell. Like, you can always come to my country and I'll show you around, or I'll always come back to Japan. It's just, I don't know the time limit, and that is the hardest part, is knowing when you're going to come back to that country, or when you're going to see your international friends next. And that quote is amazing, and they always remember that there'll be a time and place we'll meet again, whether or not, if it's back in Japan or back in Australia, we'll meet again. And it sort of helped me coping with reverse culture shock and returning back from a fantastic exchange.